The thing you need to understand about brand equity is that it's not about components. It's about looking at the same things from different angle. Understanding your target market is not only to understand what they want or need right now. You need to understand what they will need in the future. Brand values help you to form your brand equity only if they are the right values for your target market, for you, and that you can actually deliver.
Welcome back to another episode of Success in Mind. Today, we're diving into one of the most powerful yet misunderstood assets in business, brand equity. Brand equity isn't just about having a logo or being recognized. It's about the value, trust, and influence your brand holds in the minds of your audience. And when you get it right, it can change everything, from how much people are willing to pay for your product to the opportunities that come your way. Joining me today once more is Yahel Demeter, a brand strategist who specializes in helping businesses not only build their brands, but create real equity that drives growth and longevity. Today, we're going to talk about what brand equity really means, how to build it, measure it, and most importantly, how to leverage it for your business. This is Yahel's fourth time being on the show. He's a brand strategist and a business growth strategist with over 22 years of experience, and he helps businesses of any kind and size to reach their business goals faster and smarter by creating new target markets, products, and services by using solid differentiation. If I were you, I would get out your notebook because you are going to want to take notes on this episode. And if you can't take notes while you're listening, make sure you come back to it again because there is so much gold packed into this episode and you don't want to miss it. All right, let's dive in. Yahel, welcome back.
Thank you, Teri. It's good to be here.
This is episode number 4 with you. That's a record.
I thought it's 3.
No, we've done 3.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
we've done 3. This is the 4th time you've been on. You are now officially the most recurring guest on the show.
I wonder.
Okay, so today we're talking about brand equity. So let's jump in. And I think the first thing we need to do is define what brand equity is for the audience who maybe they don't know what that is. So how would you personally define brand equity?
So it is very hard to define because you can look at brand equity from so many different angles. But imagine, you know what? I'll tell you a story before I'll tell you what to imagine and what brand equity is. Way. I mean, I think it was maybe 10 years ago. I had a client, one of my best clients, very successful CEO of huge company. Then one of his deputies just left the company without any preparation and started his own company. Okay? So that CEO came to me and told me how scared he is because he knows everything. This employee knew everything, Teri. Everything.
Wow.
Okay? And the thing is that he is a super smart and motivated person. Okay? Super smart. And so that CEO was very, even though he was very disappointed and everything, he was worried. He was scared. And for a very good reason. So in one of the meetings, he asked me, Yahel, what should I do? What should I do now? Because I want to protect my brand. I want to make sure that my brand is stronger. So I told him, you do nothing. You don't have to worry about it. Don't do anything. He asked me why. And I said 2 words, brand equity. Okay? Your employee, your former employee, he doesn't have any brand equity. All the doors that were open to him so far was because he was working in your company.
Right.
Okay? That's brand equity. Imagine, and now let's go back to what I told you to imagine. Okay?
Okay.
Imagine brand equity as a secret partner, silent partner in every deal that you're making. Every interaction with anyone, whether you have interactions with your clients or whether you
Mhm.
want to sell your company to someone, okay?
Okay.
Brand equity is that silent partner, okay? It is the value, and this is the most important thing to understand about brand equity. It's the value of your brand that comes on top of the functional value of your products or service. Okay?
Okay.
Because if you and I do the same thing, we have the same product or service, okay? And you have a better brand equity or a higher.
Mhm.
If your
Okay.
brand equity is higher, okay, you can do whatever you want.
Okay. So
Okay?
it's more important then than the product or the service. Would that be fair to say?
Yes and no. That's a very good question, actually. Yes
Okay.
and no. No, because your product or service is your entry point to the market. Okay. You can't have brand equity without any product or service. And
Okay.
this product or service need to be good. Okay.
Okay.
Brand equity, remember, comes on top of the functional value. Okay. But the thing is that you can have a very good product or service and zero brand equity,
Mhm.
and you'll be gone in no time.
Okay. Could you have the opposite? Could you have really strong brand equity, but not a strong product or service?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
but it won't last long.
Okay.
People will just recognize it very, very fast.
Okay. Okay. So what are some components that make up brand equity?
So brand equity has lots of components actually.
Okay.
But the thing you need to understand about brand equity is that it's not about components. It's about looking at the same things from different angle. For example, a brand without brand equity, when they look on their brand values, for example, okay,
Mhm.
you can choose when you choose your brand values, you can choose values like I don't know, professionalism, right, or
Right.
consistency, or
Mhm.
quality. Okay, these are entry level, and you know this already. These are
Mhm.
entry level brand values. Okay, if you want to
Right.
build brand equity, you need to make sure that your values are not entry level values; they are differentiating values. Okay,
Okay.
you, you know what I
What
mean?
I know the difference, but can you share with the audience what the difference
Yes,
is?
of course, because brand values. Again, imagine. Okay, brand values are like a compound interest of
Mhm.
consistency, right? If you're consistent with your brand values, you gain this compound interest. And this compound interest is your brand equity.
Okay.
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 When you have values and you're consistent with them, the compound interest is the equity. As simple as that, because what will happen is people will know what your brand stands for. People will
Mhm.
understand who you are, what you do, what you are good at, why they should even interact with you. Okay.
Right.
So entry level values, for example, for someone like me, I'm a brand strategist, right?
Mhm.
um, will be entry level values, right? Will be professionalism, will be understanding of how branding works, will be understanding what my target market needs, right? Understanding my target market, that will be the value. But the thing
Right.
is that a differentiating value, which is not entry level value, will be, for example, confidence. That's, by the way, one of my brand values. I think that I even mentioned it in one of the episodes.
Yeah.
That for me, in every single thing I do, I will do my best to give you the right amount of confidence from a point of knowledge, from a
Mhm.
point of that you understand what you're doing, that you understand what I'm saying, and you understand why I need
Yeah.
to do it. So that's the difference, right? Because if you do the same thing like me and you don't have a differentiating value, okay, people
Mhm.
will likely choose me over you because the value is better. Okay,
Okay.
they can see the difference between us with that specific value. Okay,
Right.
another example is well, and I will not give my regular example about competition. I'll give you another one today.
Okay.
Um, Target market. Okay,
Okay.
when people want to just I'm going back for a second. Brand has three legs. Okay, one
Okay.
of them is the product or service. Okay,
Mhm.
the second one is the target market, and the third one is the competition.
Okay.
First, you analyze the target market. Second, the competition. Then you decide how your product or service will look like based on the other two. Okay.
Okay.
So knowing that, let's talk about the target market. Okay.
Okay.
We can also talk about competition later if you want,
Sure.
but let's talk now about the target market.
Okay.
Most business owners, when they think about the target market, what do they think, Terry?
I don't know, they think, of a person, like a no?
Yes, but yeah, but
I
they
think they
think
think
about.
yeah,
You
like,
know
I
what?
think
I'll ask a different question.
okay.
When they think about the value proposition to their
Yeah.
target market, what do they think about?
I feel so put on the spot. This feels like a test.
So I'll help you. Okay, they
Okay.
think for the what do they need? What they
Yeah.
need, right?
Yeah.
And that's wrong, Terry.
Yeah.
That's half right. Okay,
Yeah.
but it's more on the right. Why? Because if you want to build brand equity, and trust me, you want to build brand equity. Okay, we can talk about it later if you want. Why
Yeah.
you should want to build your brand equity. A very, very important part of understanding your target market is not only to understand what they want or need right now. You need to understand what they will need
Mm,
in the future,
right.
what they will want in the future.
Okay.
Okay. That's brand equity. This is how you form brand equity. And there are many
Okay.
ways to understand that, by the way. And if you want to talk about it, it's a different episode. But
Gotcha.
you need to try and predict and be successful, by the way,
Mhm.
of what they will want and what they will need in the future. So if I go
Okay.
back to the example of this CEO and employee that I mentioned earlier,
Yeah.
that employee doesn't know what the target market wants or needs.
Gotcha.
Okay. That's
Okay.
brand equity. And that's the difference.
Okay. Okay. So that's the target market. And then you said also then competition and then products and services. So
Mhm.
can you tell us about the competition?
Let's talk about the products and services and then about the competition.
Okay. All
Okay.
right. All right. Fair.
Most business owners, when they build a brand, they say, okay, I know how to make ice cream. I know how
Mhm.
to make bread. I can sell bread to people. I can sell ice cream to people, right?
Yeah.
But the right way to do it is, first of all, to understand what the people actually want to buy.
Okay.
For example, bread is bread. I mean, it's great and
Mhm.
and it's tasty most of the times, right?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
most people, bread symbolizes something else for them.
Mhm.
Okay, and I'll give you another example now. Not bread, but a baking oven. Okay,
Okay.
my mom had a very fancy baking oven in
Hmm.
her kitchen. My mom didn't know how to bake.
Oh, wow.
Okay. She was a great cook, but baking, zero.
Okay.
Okay. The oven was actually a storage.
Oh.
Okay. So if you're an oven maker,
Hmm.
okay, you would want to think about people like my mom, okay, who
Okay.
uses the oven to store things in the meantime while she doesn't bake, which was never, right? But but you know what I mean? So if you
Yeah.
really know your target market and you really know what they want, your
Hmm.
product will look different.
Okay.
Okay. So let's go back to the bread example.
Yeah.
If you know how to make bread, instead of offering just bread, okay, think about why people want your bread, why they need your bread. Do they
Okay.
want to make an impression? Do they
Hmm.
want to eat carbs in a very cold evening? Think about it, because
Maybe.
it will change the way you look at your product. It will change
Okay.
the way you pack your product. It will
Hmm.
change the way um, you design a product or service. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep.
So if I would want to sell bread, I will try and understand when people will buy it and why people will buy it.
Okay.
Okay. If I will see that they buy it before the weekend, I would
Hmm.
assume that they either want to eat it in one of the weekend nights with their family. So I'll make sure
Okay.
that the packaging will be very family oriented, very, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if I know that they make sandwiches with it, for example, I will slice it for them.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
The packaging will be of sliced bread.
Right.
You know what I mean? Okay.
Yep.
So if you know your target market and know your competition, your product and services, your product or service will look different.
Okay.
It has two possible directions. Either you dictate what your product or service does, or you
Okay.
listen and you design it based on what you learn. Okay,
Okay.
that's the product or service. When we talk about the competition,
Yeah.
most business owners look at the direct competition. Okay, for example, if we are in the baking industry of
Hmm.
other bakers, right, or
Yeah.
clubs or whatever,
Yeah.
but they should look about the indirect competition, because direct competition will always be there. Terry, always,
Hmm.
always be there. But when you have brand equity, you don't care about it.
Right.
You don't care about it because people will always choose you. Okay, you
Yeah.
create some sort of a stiff demand, and remind you to say about something about stiff demand. But
Okay.
you create some sort of demand that people will always choose you. Okay, so
Yeah.
for example, if if uh, uh, let's talk about the personal trainer. Okay,
Okay.
because that's the easiest way to let's talk about Netflix, not personal trainer. Okay, Netflix.
Sure.
Okay, you can say that the competition of Netflix is Disney Plus. You can say it's Apple
Hmm.
TV. You can say that this is Amazon Prime or whatever. Okay,
Right.
other streaming services. But the real competition is an indirect competition, which is sleeping, having time with your
Right.
partner. Okay, because
Yeah.
you know what I mean? This
Yeah.
is the real competition. So if I was Netflix, I wouldn't. That's, by the way, I'm pretty sure this is what Netflix is aiming for. Okay, that's why I chose Netflix.
Yeah.
They don't care about Disney Plus. They don't care about Amazon Prime. They
Right.
don't. Okay. They want to make sure that you will watch Netflix with your partner.
Hmm.
They want to make sure that you will watch Netflix before you fall asleep.
Yep.
Okay, that's the thing. Indirect competition. It's different kind of competition that don't give your target market the same product or service. Different product or service, but still a
Okay.
competition.
Okay.
So when you do that, you create brand equity. When you understand that, you create brand
Okay.
equity. It all
Okay.
adds up, really.
Okay. Interesting. And what is it that you wanted to go back to about stiff demand?
Oh yeah.
I'm curious.
So the bread example, stiff demand is when you have this kind of demand that people will always buy your products or services. Okay,
Okay.
for example, bread, water.
Yeah.
People will always need to eat something, will always need to
Mhm.
drink something. Water
Yeah.
and bread have stiff demand. Okay,
Okay.
okay. People will always need it. Okay, you know what is higher than stiff demand?
What?
Brand equity.
Oh,
Because when
of course.
you have brand equity, people will want your product or services. And this is a higher level of need. You
Okay.
create some sort of a stiff demand on steroids,
Mhm.
okay? Because it's a higher level of it.
Okay.
People want you. They don't, not because they need you. No, they
Right.
want you.
Okay. So I just want to make sure that I get this straight. So if you have so stiff demand is we're always going to buy bread. But if you have
Or drink
brand
water, yeah.
equity and you're selling bread, then people are going to want your specific bread. Is that am I getting that right or are they separate?
You're getting it right, but you can also separate it. I mean,
Okay.
stiff demand is this kind of demand that people will always need your product or service. So, okay.
Okay.
Brand equity is when people always want your
Okay.
product or service. That's why it's more important. They don't buy it because they need it.
So could we say then that Apple would be a good example of that?
Oh yeah,
Like that
yeah.
people want the iPhone. They don't need the iPhone, but they want the iPhone more than any other phone. Or they want an iMac or any of their products that they want it more than
You know what? You mentioned Apple. By the way, now they are, as we speak, they are launching the iPhone
I
17.
know. That's why it's on my mind because I'm gonna watch that after this.
Okay, so iPhone is a very good example. Okay, I am also an Apple guy, as you know.
Yeah.
Okay, but when you have brand equity, your clients, customers, your target market will show forgiveness for a brand.
Mm,
Okay, and you know why
okay.
I say it. I always say that as of today, Apple is behind the AI revolution. Apple is falling behind. I mean, they have
Mhm.
nothing, literally. Okay,
Yeah.
I hope they will have, right? But
Yeah.
and I will stay with iPhone and I will stay there in the ecosystem. Okay.
Yeah.
But this is exactly the forgiveness I'm talking about. Okay.
Okay.
When you have brand equity, people want your brand, your brand. They just
Mhm.
want it, no matter how expensive it is, no matter um, how bad the AI capabilities are.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's what happens when you have brand equity.
Okay.
Okay, you can increase your prices like Apple
Mhm.
does. Okay,
Yeah.
you can do whatever you want. People will still buy your brand
Okay.
at, to a certain point, right? I mean,
So let's bring this back to like the small business owner who's maybe just at the very beginning, just starting out or has a very new business, a new brand. Um, what would be the very first step in beginning to build brand equity?
very good question, Terry. The first step for small business owner will be to think about their story. Okay,
Okay.
you need to make sure the question that you, as a new or even
Mhm.
existing business owner, okay, that you already have a business, why would people want to buy from me? Okay,
Yeah.
not need, want. Usually, it starts with the story.
Okay.
Okay, if people can see how your story um, intertwined with their story,
Mhm.
that's where you want to start. Okay,
Okay.
to show them how your story actually helps them to live their life better.
And do you mean the story of the business owner? Why they created this? Or what story do we need to be able to tell?
So in small business owners, usually the story can be the business owner story or the
Mhm.
business story. Usually
Okay.
they are together. Okay,
Yeah.
because most small business owners are one man show
Yeah.
or two people show.
Mhm.
So usually it's together.
Okay.
People want to know what's behind your brand.
Right. Right. And is this like when Simon Sinek talks about knowing your why?
Um, yes,
Or would that be different?
your why can be a significant part of your brand equity.
Okay.
Yes. If you don't know your why, you have a bigger problem, right?
Mhm.
Than your brand equity. But when you know your why, you can integrate it. You can use it to build your brand equity.
Okay. Okay. Now, is there a difference between, and I'm sure there is, but what is the difference between brand awareness and brand equity?
Okay. Who builds brand? Who builds brands? When you want to build a brand,
Yeah.
who who build the brand?
Oh, I feel like this is another trick.
It is. It is. But it's an important one, Terry.
So I think the obvious answer would be the business owner builds the brand, but I think it's probably the people they're selling to actually
Exactly.
build a brand.
Exactly. And
Okay.
how do they do that? These people.
Through brand awareness,
Be more
maybe.
specific.
Uh, I don't know.
They talk about your brand.
Oh, yeah, yeah,
Okay. They share information about the brand.
yeah.
Okay. Now, when they share information about the brand, you have two
Mhm.
options as a business owner. Okay. Either to tell them what information to share, okay,
Yeah.
or to let them think about it themselves.
Okay.
Okay. You want to be in the first option.
Okay.
You want
How?
to show them exactly who you are, what you do, why you're
Mhm.
different, what is your differentiation. Okay.
Right.
And you do it with brand values. You do it by knowing
Mm.
them, okay, by showing them that you know them, by showing them that you know what they want and what they will want in the
Okay.
future,
Okay.
by showing them that your service or product have good quality, okay,
Okay.
very good quality, or showing them that people actually like your products and service, by telling them their story, by choosing the right values, okay.
Okay.
You give them two things: reason to talk about you
Mhm.
and the info they need to share. Otherwise, it's an uncharted territory. They will do whatever they want.
Okay.
Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
Okay. So that's the brand awareness.
Mhm. So when you have brand awareness,
Yeah.
you build with it your brand equity. Brand
Okay.
equity can't survive without brand awareness.
Okay.
But you build the brand awareness, you generate the brand awareness with the same tools that you generate the brand equity with. because
Okay.
it's like parallel lines that feed each other.
Mhm. Okay. Now, I wanna go back a little bit to talk more about brand values because you've mentioned it several times, and I think, and I don't know what you think about this, but I think that a lot of times business owners will they pick their brand values, they pick a list of nice sounding words, and maybe they put them on their website, but or they, put them on their put them on their website, put them on their social media. Maybe they put them on their wall where they see them every day, but those words don't actually have any meaning for them or any resonance within the business. And so can you talk more about the importance of the brand values and choosing your brand values?
Yes. Brand values. Brand values, when you choose your brand values, you have again two options.
Mhm.
There are two options and the right option. Okay.
Yeah.
Option number one is think about what values your target market wants to see. That's
Okay.
option number one.
Okay.
Option number two is to think about your values as a business owner or your values as a business. Okay.
Mhm.
Again, usually these are intertwined, but um, this is the second option. Okay. First option,
Okay.
what they want to see it. Second option, who you are. And the
Mhm.
third option is the combination of both.
Okay.
Okay. What they want to see it and what you can deliver
Mhm.
in a different way than others. Okay.
Okay.
What you can deliver, which will not be an entry level value,
Okay.
which will be a differentiating value.
Mhm.
Okay. That if you will stand in the room with a potential client, okay, and your competitor, and both of you will say the same thing, okay, will
Right.
project the same value, the target market, the potential client will believe you and not your competitor. That's the right way to
Okay.
choose their brand value. Now, most business
Okay.
owners, they don't do that,
Mhm.
or they do half of it, or they just ask ChatGPT, what are my brand values? Okay. Now,
Yeah.
brand values help you to form your brand equity only if they are the right values for your target market,
Mhm.
for you, and that you can actually deliver. And by
Yeah.
delivering, I mean that you know how you can project them
Mhm.
and where you can implement them. Okay. Now
Okay.
you said something a bit disturbing earlier
Uh-oh.
that people put them on the website. It is
Yeah.
meaningless. Meaningless. Okay.
Yeah.
Completely meaningless. Okay.
I agree. Yeah.
Brand values are for you.
Mhm.
Okay. You need to think when you create your brand values while you're smiling.
No, just because 'cause I'm agreeing. I like this. Yeah.
Okay. Um, so brand values, you need to think about where you show them and how.
Mhm.
Okay. So for example, consistency or confidence. Okay. So I know that if I want to project confidence, it's the way I talk, is the way that I build my explanation.
Mhm.
Okay, is the fact that I will always answer your email, that I will always answer your text message, if even if it's a year after we ended the project. Okay,
Yeah.
we finished working together. Okay, that's
Yeah.
confidence, Terry. That I will always be there, that I will
Mhm.
always know the answer or will look for the answer.
Okay.
Okay. That I will always tell you if you are right, if you are wrong, and why.
Mhm.
Okay. That's how you implement this.
Right.
Okay. So when you choose your brand values, the second question that you need to ask yourself is how do I implement this? And whether
Yeah.
it will come across.
Okay.
The
I
first
think
question.
Yeah.
Nothing to ask yourself. I said this the second question. You
Yeah.
didn't ask what was the first one. The
Yeah.
first one, if I can do that, if it is an actual value
Yeah.
that is right for
Yeah.
me, and
Right.
you choose whether it is right for you or not.
Mhm.
If your target market wants it,
'Kay.
if you can deliver it, and if you know how to deliver it.
Okay. And I think that's what a lot of business owners miss is being able to deliver it and implementing their values,
Yeah,
which is why I said the website thing, because I have seen businesses before where they have their list of values on their website, but it doesn't take long to realize that those mean nothing. Like maybe they say respect, but they don't treat their employees respectfully, for example. Um, and so it becomes really clear that it's just a nice list of words that has no meaning.
I'll give you an example.
Mhm.
Luxury cars, okay, or anything luxurious that you buy. It doesn't need to be a car, okay?
Right.
Um, you can claim on your website or in your marketing communication that your product or that your product is luxurious. Okay,
Mhm.
you can reflect it in your pricing strategy. You can reflect it in the type of testimonials that you show on your website. Okay,
Yeah.
but if you will come or you will talk with your target market with with a shirt with a stain on it, it doesn't matter how many times you say that you're luxurious,
Mhm.
or how many times you say that you have a very unique kind of attention to details and yada yada yada.
Right.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you write it on your wall, on your website, in your
Mhm.
website. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay,
that
so
makes
when you
sense.
yeah
It's not congruent,
yeah
right? Yeah. It's, as you're talking about that, I'm thinking about a client that I worked with who sells luxury real estate, and he always shows up dressed to the nines, head to toe, every detail, everything pressed and perfect because he's showing luxury homes, and he represents when he walks in a room, he represents luxury homes. That's just the example that came to mind as you're talking.
you can give him hard time if you want, and
Oh.
ask him if his target market actually wants to see this, or want to see just a regular person wearing a t-shirt. Because I'm
I think they do. I think they
okay,
do because he dresses a lot like his clients.
okay,
Yeah,
perfect, awesome,
yeah. But if he is gonna wear a t-shirt, he wears a very, like, nice, well-fitted, good
perfect.
quality t-shirt. Yeah, yeah.
I'll give you another example
Okay.
about a mistake that I made years ago.
Oh,
Okay, years ago,
yeah.
I was very young,
Mhm.
young enough to know everything,
Of course, yeah.
and I think it was my first or second profile video that I made. It was so good, Terry. So good.
Mhm.
So well edited. Um, so well explained. I mean, it was
Wow.
perfect. Perfect. I was wearing the right outfit. I said the right words, the right vibe, the right lighting, the right sound.
Mhm.
Three different angles of camera angles. Um,
Yeah.
Everything was perfect, perfect, and that's exactly was the problem.
Okay.
Okay, it was too perfect.
Right.
One day, a new client came to me and told me, "I thought it would be a good idea to meet you, even though I didn't know if you'll actually meet me, if you'll actually
Oh.
agree to meet me." And I said, "Why?" Look at me. I'm wearing a t-shirt. I mean, I'm so down to earth. I mean,
Mhm.
why? Because of your profile video. I mean, it it seems like you're almost unreachable.
Right. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So what I did,
Yeah.
I went back to the filmographer that helped me with that profile video. So let's change. I told him let's change, and I can show you these two videos by the way. I
Cool.
still keep them. Um, let's change the video. Do something completely different. I want you to follow me from the moment I wake up in the morning, okay, throughout the day, and make a video out of
Nice.
it. So people will see that I am a person just like
Mhm.
them, okay? I want them to see what kind of car I drive, which was a very normal car,
Okay.
okay? How my house looks like, where I drink my
Mhm.
coffee in the morning, how I
Mhm.
get ready to work, okay? That's what he did. And outcomes was, well, insane, Terry. The amount
Okay.
of work that this video brought me was unreal
Wow.
because
Interesting.
people told themselves, I want to work with him.
Mhm.
That's exactly the person I want because this video did the opposite what why competitors did. It showed
Right.
real person. It built brand equity. They
Okay.
wanted me, Terry.
Yeah. Is there something is there something about okay, because this is what I'm hearing on social media right now, where it used to be the messaging was you have to be relatable to your audience for them to wanna work with you. They have to be able to relate to you. But now I'm hearing there's a lot of talk on social media about that is the wrong approach and that it needs to be you need to show them what they can aspire to be. Is there a point though where we're too relatable to the audience and need to show them something more elevated, I guess, or something they can aspire to?
I understand the question, but I don't think it's either or.
Okay.
I mean, people can relate to you and still be want to be like you.
Okay.
I mean, it's not either or.
Okay. Okay. Because I've always gone on the side of wanting to be relatable to my audience and being just like them. But I sometimes wonder if that's the wrong approach.
You will never be like your audience because
Okay.
you know you have something that they don't.
Okay.
I mean, they need something from you, okay?
Mhm.
Just like they need the same thing from all your competitors.
Right.
Your job as a business owner is make them want you. And this is where the relatability uh, comes to the picture, right? I mean,
Okay.
you want them to want you, to
Mhm.
choose you, not because they need that particular service, because they want that particular service from you.
Okay.
So there is a balance between
Mm.
how much they can relate to you, okay, and the other option, okay.
Okay.
There will always be a balance here
Okay. Okay. Good.
because
Now
it's
is
not either
there
or.
okay. Okay, that's interesting. So how do we know? Like, how do we know where that balance is? Is there a way to define that?
You need to know your target market.
Okay.
That's exactly the thing. You need to create a customer journey for them.
Mhm.
You need to create the attention graph that we are talking about in our workshop, for example. Okay,
Yeah.
there are ways to know your target market,
Okay.
and once you know your target market, you know the answer. I mean, you don't have to guess anything; they will
Okay.
tell you. I mean, target market, their goal is not to hide info from you as a
Right.
business owner. Okay, is to share the info with you, but they need to be comfortable enough. They need to have a
Mhm.
motive to do that, right?
Okay. Like
And what
what?
it can, like you want to know them. You
Okay.
want to know them, so you will have to give them a better answer, a better product, a better service. Okay. For
Okay.
example, every time that I have a new client, the first meeting is not about their business. The
Mhm.
first meeting is about, I think, 10, 15 questions that I ask them about their life, who they are,
Right.
how does their family look like,
Mhm.
what were their goals when they were kids. I want to
Yep.
know how their decision making process works.
Okay.
What is their operating system?
Mhm.
What is their life strategy? Because once I will know what is their life strategy, I will know what kind of advice to give them business wise.
Okay. 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 Now, when you're talking about target market, can you tell us but how do we begin to understand our target market? And the reason I ask is I think a lot of people do these sort of fluffy workshops or um, they watch a video online that tells them it's the, to that the age range and I don't know, they get really granular sometimes of like it's women 35 to 37 with two kids and they drive a black SUV or they get really focused on these details. And I'm wondering, is that the right way to go? Because a lot of people talk that way about their target market.
This is such a big question, and I honestly don't know where to start.
Okay.
But I will start somewhere. Okay,
Okay.
when you build, when you create a business plan,
Mhm.
okay, the best way to create the right business plan for a business owner is to help them visualize to the detail, Terry, how their day will look like.
Okay.
A customer comes into your store. What will you tell them? How you will treat them? What will you offer
Mhm.
them? Will they smile? Will they fight right away? Will they ask you questions? What they will ask you to help them to visualize how a day, an average day will look like for them. Okay. The
Yeah.
same goes to the target market.
Okay.
You need when you start to think about the target market, yes, by segmentizing it, right?
Mhm.
Women 30 to 35 lives here, drives that. Okay,
Yeah.
that's okay, but
Yeah.
that's the starting point.
Yeah.
Okay, once you have that, you need to create some sort of an avatar. You need to
Mhm.
create a personalized avatar to this segment. Okay, and the way to
Yeah.
do it is to think like your target market, how they will feel when they will hold your product, when they will
Mhm.
drink from your cup, for when they will write with your pen, okay?
Mhm.
How they will feel like. Will
Yeah.
they keep it open? Will they close it? Will they tell somebody how good it is? Will they smile while they use it? Okay, why they will smile, why they won't smile while they use it.
Mm.
You, you know what I mean? You need to
Yep.
think like them and to understand the emotional graph that that they will go through and the functional graph, how they will use it and how they will feel while using it.
Okay.
Okay. After you know that, you need to do it for the whole segment, for every segment, right? And then you
Okay.
need to conclude to make conclusions out of it,
Mhm.
to find your themes. Okay. Then
Right.
after you find your themes, you find uh, the touch points with them, for example. Okay.
Okay.
Where you can show them that you understand them and where you can learn who they are and what they do. Okay. You can also create focus groups. You can create a
Mhm.
questionnaire. There are so many ways to understand your target
Yeah.
market. It is a huge question. And for
Okay.
every business, the answer is different,
Okay.
totally different. but again, I want to repeat what I said at the beginning of this episode. It's not about knowing what they want now, Terry.
Mhm.
It's about knowing and showing them that you know what they will want next.
Okay. And how can you ever know that?
Again, very individual. It's not that I don't want to share the answer.
No, no, for sure. Yeah.
I don't have an answer. I mean, with
Okay.
every business, you find the answer for that in
Mhm.
different ways.
Okay.
Okay. I can tell you though what you shouldn't do.
Okay.
Okay. Most
Perfect.
people will be smart and say things like, oh, you can't predict the future. You can decide what the
Mhm.
future will look like. Or to use this Peter Drucker quote, which I love, by the way, the best way to predict the future is to create it. Okay. It's
Yeah.
one of my
Yeah.
favorite quotes. But people sometimes misuse this approach
Mhm.
exactly in understanding the target market. You don't know. You don't know, and you
Right.
can't decide for people how their future will look like.
Mhm.
Just like you can't decide what they want. You can ask them what they want. When you remember
Yeah.
when I told you about the products and services that you have two approaches.
Yep.
Um, so you can't educate them. You can't teach them. You can't decide for them what they want.
Mhm.
Okay, you can guess what they want, and you can have
Okay.
a very calculated guess what they will want. For
Okay.
example, when Mercedes-Benz, for example, when they launched the A
Yeah.
class, which is their smallest car, they
Mhm.
said specifically a few years ago that this car is cheap, relatively cheap. It is not a luxurious car. Okay, they want people to buy it, so they will enter their ecosystem, because then they
Okay.
will have kids, they will buy that car, and they will have, and
Right.
well, when they will have established careers, they will buy that car. Okay, you need to think about the journey that your
Mhm.
customer will go through. We need to make
Okay.
sure that their story develops with your story. That's brand equity, Terry. When their
Okay.
story develops with your story, that's where you have brand equity.
Okay. Can you measure brand equity? How do you know? How do you know as a business owner what your brand equity is, or if you have it? Is there a way that you can identify it and measure it somehow?
You can you can measure it only if you only I mean financially, I mean.
Maybe.
You can measure it financially if you increase your prices and people actually buy and people
Okay.
and you enjoy your brand equity, right? Or you can
Mhm.
measure it when you sell your company, and while it's really worth $1 million, right? And you can now sell
Yeah.
it for 5 million because you have an established brand. That's brand equity. But most business owners don't sell their company,
Yeah.
okay, their business. So they look at brand equity in different aspects. The best way to know if you have brand equity, that's a very good question. The best way for most business owners to know if they have brand equity or not is to see how the market reacts to changes. Okay, for example,
Okay.
changes in supply, changes
Mhm.
in products or services, changes in prices, right?
Right.
If nobody leaves them after any change happens, after changes happen, right?
Yeah.
They have brand equity
Okay.
because you shift from what people need to what people want. If it was only a
Mhm.
need, people will leave you like this.
Okay.
Okay, they will just leave for your competitor. But if it's
Okay.
what people want, it is way more difficult for your competitors to create that shift.
Okay.
Okay, so the best way to know it is to see how your target market reacts to changes.
Okay. And is it possible to lose brand equity? And if so, like what are the signs? What would be a red flag that people should look for that might indicate they're losing it?
The opposite from what I just said.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, the level of interaction with the brand.
Mhm.
Okay. The number of returning customers. Okay.
Okay.
Um, yeah, things like that.
Okay.
For
Okay.
example, now I have a client. Okay,
Yeah.
that I think I told you about him. That he was a client of mine 13 years ago, Terry.
Wow.
Way, way, way before I came to Canada.
Yeah.
13 years ago. Okay, that's brand equity.
Okay.
He could hire any business strategist from any country.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
so it's not a need anymore. It's a
Yeah.
want.
Okay.
I want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So once a business has strong brand equity, um, how can they leverage it for growth?
Very, I'm tired to say very good question because these questions are good.
Good.
So
Good. I'm
I
glad.
I won't say it anymore, but your questions are good.
Thanks.
Um, okay, how can they use it for growth?
Yeah.
Many ways. I will focus on two ways. Okay,
Okay.
first way, you can increase your prices.
Mhm.
Okay, you can charge more for what you do. It's simple as that.
Yeah.
Okay, again, if you remember the silent partner in every deal, this is where
Mhm.
this silent partners comes into life. Okay,
Okay.
that's the
Yeah.
first way. The second way, which I like more, is to launch new product or service. Once
Mm,
you have brand equity, okay, and you launch a new product and service, you'll have customers ready to buy. And not
nice.
only that, Terry, they are ready to buy and they will be ready to give you feedback on it.
Nice.
Okay? A constructive feedback.
Okay.
So be able to iterate,
Mhm.
to create, to do it better and better and better.
Okay.
Okay, so that's if you have if you have good brand equity, launch products and services before you increase your prices.
Okay. Now, speaking of that, I did get a question through my Instagram community that fits nicely here. So I'm going to jump ahead to that. This is from Lizzie, and she has a natural hair care and like self care product line.
Uh-huh.
And so she asked the question, how can a self care brand like mine protect and grow brand equity while expanding into new product lines?
So she has a line, she manufactures
Hmm.
products, right?
Yeah.
And her question is, how can she?
How can she protect and grow brand equity while expanding into new product lines? Now, I know a little bit about her business, so I can give you a little more context
Okay.
here. That she started with hair products, a hair serum specifically, and then that grew into like natural shampoo bars, conditioning bars, and then like skin moisturizers. And now she's going into like dish soaps and cleaning products. And so she's not just hair anymore. And I think that's what she's referring to is growing into these different product lines while still protecting and growing
Is it
brand
under the
equity.
same brand or different brands?
Same
Same
brand.
brand, same name, same values, same tagline, everything.
Yeah.
And she is afraid that her brand equity. I see. First of all, it is a good question because usually when you make a move like that, you
Mhm.
want to consider to create different brands. Okay, but
Okay.
she uses the same brand,
Yeah.
which sometimes is the better way to go. By the way,
Okay.
when you have brand equity.
Gotcha.
Okay. So when you
Yeah.
have brand equity, that's exactly what I was just saying. Okay.
Mhm.
You can use your target market to grow. And that's exactly what Lizzie
Yeah.
is doing now.
Yeah.
If she wants to protect her brand equity, first of all, she needs to understand what is the perceived quality of the
Mhm.
products and to keep it. Okay.
Okay.
She needs to make sure that she understands the target market. And
Mhm.
there is a good reason why she expanded, not because she can make more money, but because she can give more value. Brand
Okay.
equity is about value,
Yeah.
okay? That generates money. But first
Mhm.
comes the value, okay? If she
Yeah.
expands without the value, that's a point where she can lose brand equity. If the
Okay.
people, if her target market will feel like she's expanding just to make more money and not to give them better products,
Mhm.
that's that that's a potential problem.
Okay, good.
Okay, the way to correct it if it happens is to explain.
Okay.
Just explain
Okay.
why you did it. Why? I mean, what are the benefits for it?
Yeah,
And again, I don't know her business, so I
for
don't
sure.
really. Yeah. So, but that's what I would say without knowing it.
Do you think that sometimes, because I see this with my clients, that sometimes they grow their product line too fast because they think they just need to offer more and more instead of focusing in on maybe a couple products that work really well? Like, is there such a thing as going too much too soon, offering too much?
Very often, yeah.
Yeah.
Very often. The
Okay.
problem is not necessarily from the angle of brand equity. The problem here can be, um, I mean, your ability to fulfill
Okay.
uh, everything, to actually deliver what you say you can deliver. Okay.
Okay.
Sometimes people go too fast. That's why I always say that growth should be slow
Mhm.
in most cases. Otherwise, you are
Yeah.
you make mistakes. You're very exposed to mistakes.
Okay. Okay.
And these
Good.
mistakes usually translate very fast to brand equity problems.
Okay.
Because
What are
yes,
some yeah.
you can lose your brand equity if you do
Okay.
too many mistakes. Sounds
And what
if you
are
do even one mistake, you can lose your brand equity.
wow. What are some common mistakes that you see
That
that damages?
you don't
Oh,
listen to your target market,
okay.
that you don't know who your real competitor is,
Mhm.
that you don't pay enough attention to the reason people buy from you.
Okay.
Okay. But mainly, and the most important one, is that you don't listen to your target market because,
Yeah.
and I say it again, okay, you
Yeah.
don't create your brand equity. Never. Okay. Your target market
Mm.
creates the brand equity for you. If you give them
Okay.
the information that needs to be shared and the reason to share it, they will create it for
Okay.
you.
Okay. So let's say someone has suffered a loss in their brand equity or their reputation has taken a hit. Um, how can they recover?
They need to okay. When you apologize, Terry, to someone,
Mhm.
how do you apologize?
Sincerely?
Yeah, but what does it mean?
Oh, what do you mean? What does it mean?
Let's
I
say
mean,
that
I was wrong. I made a mistake.
okay.
Yeah, I
When
take
I teach when
accountability.
okay, when I teach my daughters to apologize, when I taught
Yeah.
my daughters to apologize, okay?
Mhm.
It's easy to say I'm sorry, right?
Yeah.
It's easy,
You
but it's
you change your
meaningless.
behavior. That's the
So I think that the right apology is, and not I think. I mean,
Mhm.
smarter people than me think the same way. I just copied them. Is to say, of course, I apologize, but
Mhm.
what am I apologizing for? What did I do
Yeah.
wrong?
Yeah.
How did I make you feel? And
Mhm.
how I'm going to correct it.
Yeah.
That's exactly how you correct brand equity problems.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
So, and it happens a lot, by the way, that big brands that they change their logo and their
Mhm.
customers hate it. And there are so many
Mhm.
examples for it. Hate it.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's
Yep.
exactly what they need to do.
Okay. Yeah, I was reading an article just the other day on that, and they were showing some exactly what you're talking about, where big brands changed their logos, their target market hated it, and they ended up going back to the previous logo. And there
I
were
remember,
yeah,
yeah. So there are many cases like that. Or for
yeah.
example, when you have, I can't remember, uh, I can't remember what company it was. It was about maybe 5 years ago. A company
Mhm.
just they had a mistake, a spelling mistake on their bags. Okay, and it was a good
Oh,
company, good quality, and they had a spelling error on one of
wow.
their bags, which was bad because it was their brand name, or I can't remember what was
Oof.
it,
Yeah.
but they laughed about it. They said, "This is not us. This is a mistake. This is not our quality. This is not our
Mhm.
standard, but we will not throw these bags away because we care more about the environment than
Nice.
our image." Okay? This is
Nice.
how you correct brand equity problems. Okay?
Mhm.
Or for example, I remember that there was this bread manufacturer that sliced the bread too thick, and they make a
Oh.
joke out of it in their social media. Yes, this was a mistake. It's too thick, but here's what you can do with it.
Oh,
And
nice.
they even changed the packaging of the bread. Instead of sliced bread, they wrote uh, very thick slices of white bread or something like that. It was a joke, right? But they took ownership. They
Yeah,
apologized. They explained what was wrong, what they are
nice.
going to do to make sure it won't happen again,
Mhm.
just like a real apology.
You can make French toast out of it. That's what I would do.
Uh, Same.
Okay. Can you give us an example of and you've given us some already, but an example of who you think has exceptional brand equity and what makes it so exceptional?
Yes. The guy who came to fix my hot tub last week.
Okay.
Yeah, I actually told
Yeah.
him. I actually told him.
Nice.
Um, and I'll explain. First of all,
Okay.
the easy answer is Apple, or I don't know,
Yeah.
Toyota, or right.
Yep.
But I want to give an example of a small business owner. How he
Perfect.
built his brand equity. First of all, he responded to my text message right away.
Mhm.
Right away,
Nice.
he told me what he thinks the problem is. I googled him. I saw how many reviews he had. Um, and it was a very good indicator of brand equity. I told myself that
Yeah.
his brand looks like a well-established brand. Okay. And after I met him, I talked to him, and I realized that this is a young guy, newly married. He told me his story. I could relate to his
Mhm.
story. Okay.
Nice.
And he built a brand equity. So how do I know that that he had brand equity?
Yeah.
I didn't ask how much would it cost. I
Mm.
always ask what is the estimate.
Yeah.
I mean, how much you think it will cost to get it fixed, to get the
Yeah.
holder balanced again, okay, to fix the leak. I didn't care
Wow.
because I knew it will worth it. And this is the guy that I want to fix that
Mhm.
hotel because I trust him.
Okay.
Simply because I trust him.
Okay.
That's brand equity, Terry.
Okay.
And then I researched even more. And I saw
Mhm.
that he shows his prices on his website.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't
nice.
even see it.
Wow.
And what I felt, 400 other people felt in his Google
Mhm.
reviews.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah, that's one equity.
Okay.
And then when he will sell his business, the company or the guy or whatever who
Mhm.
will buy his business will know that they buy hundreds of people who are very satisfied
Right.
from the service. So if they will keep the level of of service, okay, and the
Yeah.
fairness of service, okay,
Yeah.
they will have the same brand equity. So that also answers your question: how do you keep it?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
because in that kind of transition, you can lose it like that.
I bet.
And when you have brand equity, you won't lose it so fast. That's exactly the thing. These are the changes that I was talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So for small business owners or like even solopreneurs who don't have a big marketing budget or maybe even any marketing budget, what's the most high impact action they can take to build brand equity?
Understand the target market.
Okay.
Okay. Uh, whether they value the price more than the service,
Hmm.
whether they value how quick you respond more than the price. Okay.
Okay.
What they actually want.
Okay.
Okay. Not what they need.
Okay.
Okay. Because I needed hot tub services. Okay.
Right.
Everyone, even my neighbor could help me with that, I guess. Right.
Right.
Okay. But no, I wanted that particular guy because I felt the brand actually through his website and the Google reviews.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay.
So for
S-
yeah,
So the
so for
high
the
impact action,
yeah.
understand your target market, understand what they want.
Okay. And what would be like one action step they could do towards understanding their target market?
Think, analyze your last clients, analyze
Okay.
what they actually bought from you.
Mhm.
For example, if I analyze what people bought for me
Mhm.
over the years, it wasn't business advice, Terry. It
Right.
was the confidence. It's the
Yeah.
legitimacy that I gave them to follow their passions. It's the way, it's the strategy that I gave them to fulfill their dreams.
Nice.
Because business advice you can also get with AI or whatever, right? And we talked
Yeah.
about it. We
Yeah.
as coaches, we give the confidence, we give the legitimacy to dare.
Mhm.
Okay,
Yeah. This is great. Thank you so much for coming on again today. I always enjoy
100%.
having you here.
Oh yeah, yeah, I enjoy it too.
Yeah. Before we sign off though, I do want to share with them about our workshop. Do you want to talk about the workshop?
I'll let you to talk about the workshop
Okay. Well, we can do it together.
together. Let's do it
Yeah.
together.
So we have our next almost one-to-one business workshop coming up September 26th. And you tell them why should they attend?
Because it's almost one on one.
Hmm.
This is that's why we called it almost one on one.
Yeah.
Very small group of people, you and me,
Yeah.
and we cover for, is it 8 hours?
8 hours.
8 hours.
8 hours.
So many different topics. And the thing is that it's not only that you learn what you need to do, you learn what you need to do, and then you
Hmm.
actually do it.
Yeah.
And we walk between the the desks and we actually make sure that people do it right so they can
Hmm.
implement it right away in their business right away.
Yep. And that's the key.
That's Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah.
Both of us, we hate fluff.
Yep.
I personally, I don't know how to fluff. If I will try to fluff, it will look ridiculous. um
It's true.
yeah, even worse than my accent. uh but it will look bad. It will look bad. How to fluff, I really, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the thing is that this workshop is all about that. It's about practical solutions that you can literally implement right away because you started to
Yeah.
implement it in the workshop. So all you need to do is to bring it to life in your business. That's it.
Yes.
And both of us, Terry, we are very strict. Each one of us in our own, in their own way.
Yeah, that's true.
Um, um, but in the last workshop, we made sure that people understood what
Yes.
they need to do. Again,
Yeah.
each one in their own way, but
Yeah. Yeah. And I will link that into the show notes. So if you are interested in learning more about it, just go to our website and you will learn everything you need to know about it. And then you can come join us.
what is the URL, Terry? Isn't it the URL?
terryandyahel.ca. Yeah.
.ca. Yes.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Great. Well, thank you again so much. Appreciate it.
100%.
Brand equity is one of those things that often flies under the radar for small business owners. But as we heard today, it's the very foundation of long term success. If you want to connect with Yahel and learn more about what he offers, his link is in the show notes, as well as our workshop, Almost One to One, which is coming up soon. So if you want to grab your ticket for that, that link is also in the show notes. And for you, I want you to think about the brand equity that you are building. How do you want people to talk about you? What kind of influence do you want your brand to have? Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Success in Mind. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure that you hit subscribe, leave a review, leave a comment, and definitely share it with a friend who's building their business. Until next time, keep your success in mind. I'll see you next week. Bye for now, my friends.